Welcome to Story Capital, where history and strategy drive success.
The Boeing 737 MAX Scandal, The Price of Profit. Chapter 1. The Engineering Church and the Merger from Hell. For half a century, Boeing was governed by a simple rule. Engineering quality came first, financial results followed. This engineering church was based in Seattle, far from the distractions of Wall Street. However, everything changed in 1997 with the McDonnell-Douglas merger. The executives from McDonnell-Douglas, led by Harry Stonecipher, brought a ruthless focus on cost-cutting. They moved the corporate headquarters to Chicago, physically and metaphorically distancing the leadership from the engineers on the factory floor. The message was clear: the stock price was now the most important metric. Chapter 2. The A320neo Shockwave. In late 2010, Boeing was comfortably planning a brand new clean-sheet aircraft to replace the aging 737. But then, Airbus dropped a bomb, the A320neo. It was 15% more fuel efficient and was selling at a record-breaking pace. When American Airlines, a loyal Boeing customer, threatened to switch to Airbus, Boeing went into a state of industrial panic. To keep the market, they abandoned the new plane design and decided to update the 737 for the fourth time. The goal was speed and commonality, ensuring that the new plane was so similar to the old one that pilots wouldn't need expensive flight simulator training. Chapter 3. Engineering Frankenstein. The MCAS origin. The 737 was never designed for the massive, fuel-efficient CFM LEAP engines. To make them fit, engineers had to move the engines further forward and higher up on the wing. This changed the aerodynamics significantly. During high-angle climbs, the plane had a dangerous tendency to pitch its nose up, risking an aerodynamic stall. To counteract this, Boeing's engineers developed the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, MCAS. It was designed to automatically push the nose down if it sensed a stall was imminent. To avoid FAA scrutiny and simulator costs, Boeing categorized MCAS as a minor software update rather than a major flight control change. Chapter 4. The Single Point of Failure. The design of MCAS had a fatal flaw. It relied on a single angle of attack, AOA sensor, a small vein on the outside of the cockpit. In aviation, critical systems almost always have backups, but MCAS did not. If that one sensor failed or was hit by a bird, the software would think the plane was stalling, even if it was flying perfectly straight. Even worse, Boeing's engineers increased the power of MCAS late in development, making it so strong that it could override the pilot's manual input. All this was done while keeping the system's name out of the pilot manuals to ensure it didn't trigger new training requirements. Chapter 5. 346 Lives, The Cost of Silence. The first tragedy struck on October 29, 2018. Lion Air Flight 610 crashed into the Java Sea just 13 minutes after takeoff, killing all 189 on board. Despite the shock, Boeing insisted the plane was safe, subtly blaming the foreign pilots for not following emergency procedures. But just 5 months later, on March 10, 2019, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 crashed under identical circumstances, killing 157 people. The world watched in horror as flight data revealed a desperate tug-of-war between the pilots and the computer. The MCAS system had repeatedly pushed the nose down, and the pilots, following Boeing's post-Lion Air instructions, were still unable to save the aircraft. Chapter 6. Clowns and Monkeys. The Toxic Culture. After the global grounding, internal communications were subpoenaed by the U.S. Congress. The findings were chilling. Employees joked about Jedi mind-tricking regulators into approving the plane. One email famously stated, "This airplane is designed by clowns, who in turn are supervised by monkeys." Evidence emerged that workers on the 737 MAX production line in Renton were under immense pressure to prioritize speed over quality, with some reporting that tools and debris were being left inside the finished aircraft. The FAA was revealed to have delegated much of its oversight to Boeing itself, allowing the company to self-certify its own flawed systems. Chapter 7. The billion-dollar penance. Boeing eventually fired its CEO, Dennis Muilenburg, and paid over $2.5 billion in fines and settlements to the Department of Justice to avoid criminal prosecution. However, critics argue this was just a fraction of the profit they made. The 737 MAX returned to service after 20 months on the ground, but the brand's halo is gone. Today, every minor technical glitch on a Boeing plane is global news. The company faces a long road to regain the trust of the flying public and, more importantly, to rebuild the engineering church that it dismantled in the pursuit of profit. Every great empire has its secrets, and we're here to uncover them. If you want to see more stories like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Drop a like if you learned something new today, and let us know in the comments which corporate giant we should cover next.